Hello guys, in today's video. Today I want to show you what has changed in my Linux configuration, what new apps I have found and I have started using them. And I want to show you a simple piece of code that I have written a few days ago, which shows you how to make your code more efficient. And I think, what tools I use maybe, and what have changed. So let's start with one simple thing, which is my web browser. Nothing changed in here particularly, but I have made it a bit more clean. So now I don't have any different strange bar in here, bookmark bar for example. I just have search the web text box, Firefox logo in here, and that's pretty much it. All the extensions that I have is H.264 and uBlock. This is a protocol that makes YouTube videos a bit snappier, as I can call them, but it's mainly about that the normal M4, A4 or something like that, I don't remember the protocol, that is by default enabled on your YouTube. It doesn't support hardware acceleration. So what it does is that H.264 protocol requires the hardware acceleration from your computer. And the uBlock is just good, I like it, and that's pretty much it. Of course I still use DuckDuckGo instead of Google, and I try to force myself stop using Google services. Okay, the first thing that changed is my prompt. It's more bluish, the prompt is a bit more nice. I have, and with Figlet I display my local IP address. This bar is not red, but it is blue, and that's pretty much it about the terminal. This is all the stuff that changed. I stopped using File Manager, which was MC, I believe, in the last episode, Midnight Commander. I still have it in here because I'm used to it, but I am using Crusader. If I want to run Crusader as root, I believe I can do it like that. Yep, and it just runs with root privileges, as you can see. Pretty simple. But normally by default I just run it like that. Just open it up, boom, and it works. And this is my file manager. I have switched to this type of file manager in the last few days, and I think that's good because it is just a graphical user interface for Midnight Commander. If you are using Windows, you have something like that. It is called Total Commander, and why I like it is that it displays a lot of data by default. I can see how much I am using my drive, for example. I have 16 gigabytes free out of 26 gigabytes. It is 32 gigabyte drive. I know it's small, but it is my laptop, and I store nearly everything on micro SD card, which is 64 gigabytes. We can open it up in here, and I have 4 gigabytes free, and I have all of my virtual machines on this drive. But let's talk about the manager, file manager. Here we have the buttons that are present, I believe, in Midnight Commander. So we have rename button. Let's don't do this in my directory. Let's switch to microSD, and let's go to my test directory, in which I have a lot of junk. Okay, so what F2 is doing, it is just changing the names of the files. Pretty simple. F3 is as you can see, viewer, which is KR viewer. As you can see, built-in viewer for text files. It has a little minimap in here. Crusader has built-in text editor. I don't like this text editor, so I'm just using mousepad. In view, it didn't display line numbers, which is pretty strange. Yep. Let's go to preferences, show line numbers, of course, and wrap long lines. That's that I needed. One should do, but I didn't. Okay, so this is my default text editor, which is mousepad. It supports, if I remember correctly, bash, yeah, file type, sh, and it supports it. And it supports, if I remember correctly, Python too. So this is what I care most about, yeah, file type Python. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yep. So this is F3 is for viewing files, F4 is for editing them, default is internal editor, I don't like this. F5 is what we can do in my testing environment, to be honest. Let's for example go here, and this is another thing that I really like about that, cause I can just make files. I can just write commands in here and they will be executed right in here. But I have done something. Make direction. Okay, because I believe we can need to do this like that. Already exists. But where? Because not here. That's pretty interesting. Okay, something strange happened. Let's go to another catalogs. Boom. Let's make file. Boom. I have made file. Hello. Where is this file? Maybe because I need to add extension. Yeah, with extension it works. Okay, it doesn't matter. So here we have two things. I can highlight them with Shift and arrow keys. Then I can go with it like that. Boom, they're copied. Now I can, with Tab, I can go from the left to the right panel, highlight them again, with F8 delete them, with Tab go another time here, and now for example move both of these to the right panel. Boom, they're removed. With Tab I can go right in here and I'm sorry, but I'm not the master of this program. F6, move them again to the left, and this whole thing I can make directory here, which will be example2, and then I can make file, which I want to do here mainly, example2. Let's add extension to it, and then I can move them or do anything that I want. Then we have F8, so let's make file that will be delete, called delete, .txt. Let's go to this panel and delete the file that is called delete. Then when I want to empty trash bin, I can just put this like that. I can open it up. Okay, it's done. It's opened in another tab, so I don't lose my current. Oh no, I lose. Okay, so I'm not right. You lose your actual directory, but you can go back. Yes. So that's pretty nice. So those are mainly those first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buttons, 7 buttons, and then we have F9, which is our, for example, terminal. But imagine I want to add something to this example file. Let's think that I want to add a bit of the text to this file. So it will have some size. It will be not just empty. No, it has nearly 300 bytes. Okay. And what F9 does is that it opens the terminal and the current directory that we are working in. So for example, now I can cut out the example2.txt, and we just have the normal output of this command. Nothing strange, I believe. Those are the normal usages that I am using pretty often. Another one is that I can connect easily to my server. I can show you my server configuration in a while. I have local and public FTP servers configured. So that's it. To be honest about this file manager, I just like it because I can write in here. For example, imagine that I have imagine it's unscripted video, so please be patient sometimes. So imagine I have some kind of turtle, Fibonacci for example, and I want to run it Python 3 Fibonacci. Boom, it runs and it draws Fibonacci sequence in this bit square way, and it's done. Of course there are some... What happened? Something's broken. Okay, that is an unscripted video. It's to be expected. Let's open htop and kill it, if I will be able to see where it is. Ubuntu server. Okay, we don't want to touch this. VirtualBox Python. User bin terminator x htop. No, that's not what we want to kill. No, Jesus. But I want to get rid of it. Okay, this is unscripted video. I'm sorry for that. Crusader. Let's search for Python. user bin python user bin terminator. Control F or just F4. Turtle. Yeah, we got this. Bin sh microSD. Boom. F9, kill it. Enter send, and now we have solved the problem. Okay. So I do not recommend you to run apps with interpreter, code with interpreter directly from this command line. It is mainly for doing operations on directories and simple operations on files. For anything different, just hit F9. Okay, that's what we have learned today. Here I have my server on which let's display IP address of it. It has a bridged card so it can see all my network. Let's nmap our loopback. This will show us the opened ports, FTP and SSH. SSH is pretty simple, I don't want to show you this, but with Crusader I can very easily... Is the IP address the same or not? Hostname here 1042.0.243. User. Okay, something's messed up with password. Now password. And now we have access to the home directory of the user. We can even go to another users, but I believe we don't have permissions to that. What I have on the server mainly is my config files on desktop. I have bashrc backup and my config backup, and that's pretty much it. I don't need anything more. If I will break something, I can reinstall all the apps. I don't have much of them. Pretty much those are all the apps that I have on this installation. So that's what I'm really doing, is just packing my config files and my bashrc, which is not packed in this case, and putting them in here. And then I can just, when I will break something or I want to get back to my configuration, I can just copy it over again to my computer and I am satisfied with that. That's not a big problem. What else do I have here? Let me show you. This is FTP server. Nothing special. Everyone knows how to host FTP server. It is pretty simple. So this is, as you can see, the desktop that I was showing you in CLE in text mode. Now I am in graphical user interface. What we have here is ngRock, which is a tunneling application for tunneling connections, yeah, from the public network to your local network, which is pretty useful to host servers. Now I have a little script which I will show you. New net connection, seriously, okay. Something's broken. We are in, and now on desktop we have a little script. Let's view it. Oh, I can't. Yeah, I can view it. Okay. So we have here a little script that asks you where you want to run server, reads the location, changes directory to this location, then it tells you that you need to execute this command in another terminal, then it tells you where the server is running and then runs the server. So what it does, it just bash start. Now we can tell him home.user /user. We need to give password for the user, and boom, the server is running. Here we have the tunneling app running, so we can copy this, Shift Control C, go to my web browser right in here, Control V, and now we are going through the public network to my HTTP server running on here. As you can see, there is this request and it displays here too. So this is pretty much the whole usage. When I want to share files with someone, I give him this address and they can download stuff from my account. When we want to exchange files a bit more, I just want to do it in local network, or if I really need to do some file sharing, I just use Easy Paste, I believe that's how it was called. It's pretty good application too, website as we should call it. So this is how I do this. Okay, the network setup was shown in the last video, so I think we can stop using our server because we are done with it. What I want to do now is I want to obviously get out. Okay, it's locked in here. I need to wait a while until it gets out of this. Okay, so here I have two scripts. So here I have, as you can see, two scripts that are written in Python, and what I want to show you with those scripts is not the purpose that they were made for, but how you can improve performance of your scripts that you are writing. Because sometimes you need to find some kind of value that will be the most suitable for solving your problem or something like that. You can do this in a lot of ways, but now I will show you non-advanced way and a bit more advanced way. So the editor, as I have showed you, I am using mousepad. I know a lot of programmers will be not particularly proud of me because I can use IDE or something like that, but I think my IDE is IDE. It's not integrated by but my development environment is my file manager, my terminal, and my text editor. And those three things are sometimes combined in some IDEs, but I don't feel like I need IDE. Okay, so we have this find number non-intelligent example, and this piece of software just finds the number that was inputted by the user. So here we take the input from the user from the range of 1 up to 1000. Sorry. Then we have the counter variable, choice variable, differences list, and then we do a simple loop until our choice is equaled to number. So when it is not equaled, it will run this while. Then when they get equaled, it stops running. Every time we add 1 to our counter variable, then we print our counter. We need to, of course, our counter variable is integer, so we need to convert it to string. to print it properly in our terminal. Then we have choice variable, which is random number from 1 up to 1000. Then we print this choice variable. Then we print whole line. Difference, which is absolute value of the absolute value of the difference of number and choice. Then we have then we append the list with the difference variable. We plot those differences. We name the axes. I think I can call it like that. And then we show this plot or graph, as you want to call it. So yeah, this algorithm, what this algorithm does, it is just with randomizing numbers, it wants to find the number that the user has inputted. So let's now run it. So now we can write Python 3 find number nonintelligent.py. So it asks us in our shell, write number that you want me to find from 1 up to 1000. So let's write 666, or for example the famous 777 in Linux, and it is very non-intelligent, as you can see. Here we have the number of executions of the loop, so how much the program needed to run to finally find the value that we have inputted. It needed to run nearly 2000 times, and how much it was close or not close to our number that we have entered. So it's pretty much random sequence. And yeah, this is our first output of our first program. Here we have intelligent way to do it. Same thing, but the first difference. We have some kind of start and end variable, which is then used in here for randomizing it. So we have defined variables which are our range in which we are looking for numbers. Counter, difference, and differences. Pretty much it. Then we print the counter, print the choice, print the difference, but then from the start, which is our 1, we make a difference in between of our choice and difference. But of course, when the difference is bigger than our choice, I'm sorry, again, I want to think too much. Our start variable is, because I want to visualize it a bit more, but I don't have any way to do it because I don't have graphics program. Or maybe do I have graphics? No, I don't have. I have LibreOffice Draw. But what I was thinking about is that we are in some kind of let's assume this is our choice, this is the start, this is the end of our range. So what we have is we have our difference. So how much we have made a mistake. So there are two possibilities, that our number is here or here, but the length of this piece is the length of our difference. So we just shrink. There are two ways to do it. We can shrink, so for example make difference or minus from the start or from the end, or add to start and minus from the end. But what I have done is that we have our choice, and from our choice the start will be just minus, the difference, and the end will be plus. And if the start is less than 0, we just round it up to 0, and if the end is bigger or equal to 1000, we just round it up to 1000. Why I have made it? Because we don't want to have our range starting at, for example, -10 or -5, and we don't want to have our range higher than 1000. Then we print those two variables, print line, just for aesthetic purposes, and the same thing right in here. And I will show you that there is a big difference in doing it. And we want to intelligent pi 777, enter, and we have executed this loop, this code, 28 times, and we have found it in 25 executions of the loop. This algorithm is not best, but what I wanted to show you is that there are a lot of ways to make your code a bit more efficient sometimes, and I hope it was interesting. I hope you will do something like that by your own, or it just inspired you to do something interesting. So what I have showed you is that my configuration of my terminal. I believe it's pretty interesting. I have showed you my file manager, which is a bit old school file manager, but it's GUI, so I hope it is interesting. It was interesting for you. And this is like the most of the time that you spend on your computer or in shell is just by going through directories, moving files or some other stuff. So I believe, or editing files, merging it into one big tool that has built-in buttons for everything that you want to do with your files is pretty good, I believe, because I really like using terminal. I believe you can see this in my videos. But editing text and file managing are two things that I really don't like doing in terminal. Of course I know how to do it. I know how to list stuff, how to change directions, how to rename files, how to find files, how to edit text files with Nano or Vim. No, I don't like Vim. I know how to use gvim, which is graphical version of Vim. I have even configured it in a way that I can use it, but mousepad is better. So, you know, I really like terminal, but as you can see, it's nice. I have nice prompt. But the thing that I like the most doing in terminal is mainly interpreting my code or compiling my code. So, and those are the two things that I like the most doing in my terminal. All the other stuff, which is editing files, moving them, and something like that, I just want to use a regular file manager for them, such as Crusader, which is pretty like Midnight Commander. It's a bit bloated, yes, but I like this piece of software. I like Crusader. I like those two panel file managers. And in terms of text editor, I like mousepad because it's minimalistic, and I just want to open file, write something in the file, find and replace sometimes some stuff in my files, save it, open another file, or something like that, and that's it. You know, I want to have line numbers, line wrapping features, and that's pretty much it. You know, I don't want to have more in my text editor. My file manager is doing everything that I want. My text editor is doing everything that I want. I like using terminal, that's why I have configured it in a way that it looks nice. I'm not doing much in the terminal. I know how to do stuff in terminal, and that's pretty much it. I have showed you the tools that I use. If you're interested in more videos like that with just random coding, or where I show you what I was coding for the last few days, I think you can visit my website, ArduGeek.pl. In last video I was showing you how to configure, not how to configure, but my last configuration. Now I have showed you a bit different configuration that I'm using right now, and I think it will be changing over time, but this configuration, I think I will stay with it a bit longer, because I really like the configuration that I have right now in my terminal, and I really like the Crusader for the last few days. So thanks for watching, and I hope I will see you next time.